A woman does not struggle to let go of a man because of simple attachment or routine. It is not just about time spent together, shared experiences, or even the intensity of emotions. It is about something much deeper, something that speaks to the core of what she felt when she was with him. A woman who cannot let go of a man is holding on to more than just a person. She is holding on to the sense of security, purpose, and connection that he provided in her life. She is holding on to the way he made her feel about herself, about the world, and about the possibilities of what they could have built together. Security is not just financial or physical. It is psychological, emotional, and even spiritual. A man who provides true security for a woman is not simply someone who can protect her from external threats. He is someone who makes her feel safe in her own emotions. He does not play games, does not create unnecessary chaos, does not make her question where she stands. He is steady, he is reliable, he is present. And in a world where so many people are uncertain, where relationships are fragile and fleeting, a man who provides that level of security becomes almost impossible to forget. A woman does not just miss him, she misses the peace that came with being around him. She misses the feeling of knowing that she could trust him, that he was dependable, that his word meant something. And when that kind of presence is lost, it leaves a void that is not easily filled. Beyond security, there is purpose. A man who truly impacts a woman's life is not just someone she shares time with. He is someone who inspires her to become more than she was before. He does not just exist alongside her, he elevates her. He challenges her to think bigger, to see herself in a stronger light, to believe in possibilities she may not have considered before. A woman does not let go of a man who made her feel like she was moving forward, like she was growing, like she was becoming a better version of herself simply by being in his presence. She may try to convince herself that she can replace him, that she can find someone else, but deep down she knows that the impact he had on her life was not something ordinary, it was something rare. Connection is what ties it all together. It is not just about chemistry or passion, though those things matter. It is about a deeper sense of understanding, a feeling that he saw her in a way others did not. When a man provides that level of connection, he makes a woman feel known. Not just admired, not just wanted, but truly understood. He listens in a way others do not. He pays attention to the details of who she is. He remembers the things she says, not just in passing, but as if they matter. And that kind of connection is not something that can be manufactured or forced. It is either there, or it is a woman who experiences it, who knows what it feels like to be truly seen by a man, will not easily find that feeling again elsewhere. She will compare others to him, not consciously, but instinctively, because deep down she knows that what she had with him was unique. This is why a woman cannot easily let go of a man who has provided these things. It is not simply about the memories they shared. It is not just about the time invested. It is about the way he made her feel, the way he gave her a sense of stability in a world of uncertainty, the way he influenced her sense of direction, and the way he connected with her on a level that others could not. She may try to move on. She may even convince herself that she has. But when a man has provided that level of security, purpose, and connection, he does not simply become part of her past. He remains a standard, a reminder, a presence that lingers in her thoughts long after he is gone. A man who is disciplined, purposeful, and confident does not just attract a woman, he becomes someone she cannot easily replace. His presence is not built on temporary charm or fleeting excitement, but on something much deeper, something that leaves a lasting impression. He is not defined by external validation, nor does he seek approval in ways that make him appear weak or needy. Instead, he operates from a place of self-respect, self-mastery, and an unshakable commitment to his own mission. This is what sets him apart from other men, and this is why a woman finds it difficult to let go of him once she has experienced his presence in her life. Discipline is the foundation of a man's strength. It is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. A man who has discipline is not easily swayed by distractions, nor is he controlled by fleeting emotion. He understands the value of consistency, of persistence, of showing up every day to work on himself and his goals. A woman may not always be consciously aware of it, but she respects discipline in a man more than almost anything else. She sees it in the way he carries himself, in the way he honors his commitments, in the way he refuses to let laziness or weakness dictate his actions. A man who is disciplined in his work, in his health, in his mindset, is a man who commands respect without having to ask for it. And when a woman sees this level of self-control and determination, she knows she is in the presence of someone who is not easily shaken by life's challenges. Purpose is what gives a man direction. A man without purpose drifts. And no woman wants to be tethered to a man who has no sense of where he is going. A man with purpose, however, is focused. He is on a path that is bigger than himself, a path that does not revolve around seeking approval or validation from others. His purpose may be his career, his mission, his craft, whatever it is, it drives him forward. A woman finds herself drawn to a man like this because his presence makes her feel like she is part of something meaningful. She respects a man who has a vision, who is not simply existing but striving towards something significant. A man who has purpose does not chase, he attracts. He does not beg for attention because his time and energy are already invested in something greater. This level of focus makes him stand out, makes him unforgettable, makes him a force that lingers in a woman's mind even when he is no longer around. Confidence is the final pillar that holds everything together, but real confidence is not arrogance. It is not the shallow bravado of a man who needs to prove himself to others. True confidence comes from knowing who you are, from trusting your own decisions, from standing firm in your values without needing constant reassurance. A confident man does not crumble under pressure, does not become desperate for validation, does not allow the opinions of others to dictate his sense of self-worth. He is secure in who he is, and this security creates a gravitational pull. A woman cannot easily forget a man like this because he made her feel something different. He made her feel that she was in the presence of a man who did not need her but chose her. And that, more than anything else, is what leaves an imprint. A man who embodies discipline, purpose, and confidence is rare. He is not easily replaceable because there are so few men who truly commit to becoming the best version of themselves. Most men settle for mediocrity, for comfort, for the path of least resistance. But the man who stands out, the man who leaves a lasting mark, is the one who refuses to accept anything less than excellence from himself. And when a woman experiences this, she knows she will not find it again easily. She may try to move on, she may seek another connection, but deep down, she will always remember what it felt like to be with a man who was truly on his path, who is grounded in his own strength, who is not just another option, but a force that shaped the way she saw men forever. A weak man is easily forgotten. He blends into the background, just another fleeting presence in a woman's life, leaving no real impact, no lasting impression. He does not stand for anything, does not challenge her, does not make her feel anything beyond the surface level. He is there, but he is replaceable. A man who lacks self-respect, who seeks constant validation, who bends to every whim in an attempt to please, does not create the kind of presence that lingers in a woman's mind. He is agreeable to a fault, never asserting himself, never standing firm, never giving her a reason to see him as anything more than temporary. And when a relationship ends with such a man, there is no deep sense of loss, no irreplaceable void, because he never truly occupied a meaningful space in her life to begin with. A woman may enjoy a weak man's attention for a time, may even keep him around out of convenience, but she will not hold on to him when he is gone. His absence will not create a deep longing because he did not provide anything substantial to begin with. He was there, but he was never a leader, never a source of security, never a presence that truly shaped her world. She does not miss what was never strong enough to leave an imprint. This is the reality of men who lack depth, who lack conviction, who allow themselves to become background characters in their own lives. They may have been physically present, but emotionally and mentally, they did not bring enough value to be remembered. A strong man, on the other hand, leaves a mark that time cannot easily erase. He is not easily forgotten because he is not easily replaced. He does not fade into the crowd because he carries himself differently, operates on a different level, and engages with the world from a position of strength rather than insecurity. He is a man who challenges a woman, not in a combative way, but in a way that forces her to think, to grow, to see herself in a new light. He does not agree with everything she says just to keep the peace. He does not hide his opinions or silence his voice out of fear of rejection. He is firm, confident, and unshaken in his beliefs, and that makes him stand out in a world full of men who conform to whatever they think will gain them approval. A man of integrity does not compromise his values to fit someone else's expectations. He is unwavering in his principles, unafraid to walk away from situations that do not align with his vision. This level of self-respect commands admiration, even if it is not always immediately understood. A woman who encounters a man like this may not fully appreciate him in the moment, but once he is gone, she will feel the difference. She will recognize that he was not just another man, not just another fleeting presence, but someone who left an impact. His words, his actions, his way of carrying himself, these things will stay with her, will set a new standard, will make every other man seem just a little less compelling. Strength is not about domination or control, it is about presence. A strong man does not beg for attention, does not chase in desperation, does not crumble under the pressure of rejection. He understands that his worth is not determined by another person's validation. This level of self-assurance is magnetic. A woman does not let go of a man like this easily because he made her feel something different. He made her feel that she was in the presence of someone who was truly whole, who did not need her to complete him, but who chose her from a position of abundance rather than desperation. A man who leaves a lasting impact is one who embodies strength, direction, and authenticity. He does not manipulate, does not deceive, does not play games. He is simply himself, and that is enough. He is honest about his intentions, clear about his expectations, and unafraid of the consequences of standing in his truth. This kind of man does not disappear into the past like a forgotten memory. He remains in a woman's mind, not as a regret, but as a benchmark. Someone who showed her what it meant to be with a man of true character. Someone who made her realize that anything less would never truly satisfy her. A man who understands his value, does not chase, does not beg, and does not attempt to hold on to someone who does not recognize what he brings to the table. He does not need to prove himself, does not need to seek validation, does not need to lower his standards just to be accepted. Instead, he becomes the kind of man who naturally commands respect and admiration. He builds himself into someone that people notice, not because he demands attention, but because his presence speaks for itself. This is the difference between a man who is easily forgotten and a man who leaves a lasting impression. When a man focuses on becoming rather than chasing, he shifts the dynamic entirely. Instead of running after people, he draws them toward him. Instead of seeking approval, he becomes someone whose approval is sought. This is not arrogance, it is the result of self-mastery, of knowing who he is, of refusing to compromise his own value for the sake of temporary validation. A woman does not forget a man who stands firm in his identity, who carries himself with quiet confidence, who does not flinch in the face of rejection because he knows his worth does not depend on someone else's acceptance. There is a stark contrast between a man who operates from abundance and a man who operates from scarcity. The man who begs, who pleads, who clings to a woman out of fear of losing her, communicates one thing clearly. He believes she is more valuable than he is. He puts her on a pedestal, treats her as if she is the prize, and in doing so, loses his own sense of importance. Women do not respect men who act as if they are lucky just to be in their presence. Respect is not given to the man who chases endlessly, but to the man who is willing to walk away, to the man who knows that his time, his energy, and his presence are valuable. A man who has built himself into someone of substance does not need to manipulate, does not need to play games, does not need to convince someone to choose him. His life speaks for itself. His purpose, his focus, his self-discipline, these things make him someone that others want to be around. A woman does not let go of a man like this easily because she understands that he is rare. She understands that he is not like the men who constantly seek validation, who mold themselves into whatever they think will be accepted. He is solid, grounded, unmoved by external opinions, and that makes him stand out. A woman may test a man's confidence, may challenge his resolve, may push him to see if he will bend. Many men fail these tests because they react emotionally, because they take it personally, because they see it as an attack rather than an opportunity to demonstrate strength. But the man who does not waver, who remains secure in himself, who does not allow his emotions to dictate his response, earns her respect in a way that other men never could. She does not let go of him because she knows that finding someone who carries himself with that level of certainty is rare. There is a difference between attraction and deep admiration. A man who is physically appealing may catch a woman's attention, but a man who is mentally and emotionally strong will capture something deeper. She may find other men attractive, may enjoy their company for a time, but she will not be able to replace the feeling of being with a man who is truly grounded in himself. That kind of presence lingers in her mind, shapes her expectations, and makes her realize that anything less feels inadequate. A woman does not forget a man who was truly in control of himself, who did not chase, who did not need to convince her of his worth. She does not let go of a man who made her feel safe, who led with confidence, who did not falter when challenged. He was not perfect, but he was consistent. He did not need to play games because he knew that his life was already on an upward trajectory, with or without her. That kind of certainty is magnetic. That kind of presence does not fade into the background. That kind of man becomes a standard that she cannot easily replace. A man who understands his value does not need to chase, beg, or prove himself to anyone. He operates from a place of strength, not desperation. He builds himself into someone who is disciplined, purpose-driven, and confident, making him unforgettable. Women do not let go of men like this easily because they are rare. A man who carries himself with certainty, who stands firm in his beliefs, and who refuses to compromise his self-respect, sets a standard that others struggle to meet. His presence is not easily replaced because he does not seek validation. He commands respect simply by being who he is.